Buster duet, please.
The title of my speech is One Person. March 1995. I was coming from Indiana and I went to UTB TSC and met with Dr. Brogdon. And at that time I had a lot of teaching experience, but not in the public schools and not full time. And I met him for the very first time and he said, become a teacher for at least 3 years full time and then come back. And that's what I did, and eventually I got hired at UTB. But I noticed that he was very kind, but I didn't know anything about life or anything like that. And I was a teacher at Rivetta High School, BISD. I taught reading there, and a woman by the name of Marsha had a prayer group, and she invited me. She didn't invite me to the prayer group, but she gave me a life ticket, or I bought a life ticket from her. But I was very devout in my faith, but I didn't feel that I was a Christ follower yet. And so I went to that, and it was really nice, really good food, but it just didn't move me at that time. And years passed, and I came back to UTB. And in 2001, Gail gave me a life ticket. I didn't pay for it; he just gave it to me. And I noticed that he was just giving out tickets, and I realized that he was, there when I came to the life breakfast again. I realized that he was a Christ follower. And I don't know about you in your campus, if you know of other Christ followers, or if you are not a teacher in wherever you work, if you know that someone else is a Christ follower, and you see the other person, and you just see them, maybe even the back of them, and they're walking the other direction, it just fills you with so much joy to know that there's a Christ follower at your campus. And in 2003, I accepted the Lord as my Savior, and then I started to get involved with life. And the one person has changed so many people. Gail Brogdon has helped and changed so many people, but it wasn't one person ever walking alone. It was Gail Brogdon walking with Christ. Amen. And that he motivated me to start a life group. I started another one at the other campus in Edinburgh. And so there's one in Brownsville, there's one in Edinburgh. But having my students realize that I'm a Christ follower too, and Myrna talked about that. That's kind of touchy, with the public schools and so forth. So the way I do it is that I will, at the beginning of the class, when we introduce ourselves, I tell my students I'm a Christ follower. And in some classes, I'll ask them to bring artifacts of things important to them, and I'll bring the Bible. And, that'll just be that time of sharing, and when people are talking about their dogs and so forth. That's my time to talk about Christ. But I also do a moment of silence, and I tell my students, you can do whatever you would like during this time. It's always at the beginning before announcements, but I take this time to strengthen myself, and the students can figure it out. So that one person through Christ, Gail Brogdon, has influenced so many people. And I have Jaime here, and he was one of my students, and I gave him a life ticket, and he came, and now he's an international life representative. And I have Luis back there, Sauceda, and he's a math teacher, and he came to when I gave a life presentation several years ago. And so we never know, as one person through Christ, how many people we really affect. And that's really beautiful. And I would like to say thank you, Gail. One person through Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Dr. Well, obviously you can see the ripple effect. A little stone in the water creates circle after circle after circle, and that's what we are. We're circles of Christian people who came to be here today because of Christ and the one person, and many others as well. Myrna, you too. Okay, at this time what we're going to do